Hello, welcome back to Fusion 360 The Basics. My name is Roman, and we're going to be continuing on where we left off in part 4 with a little challenge. So, everything's the same as we left it, or as I left it. Your workspace may be a little bit different. Uh, on the previous chapter or episode, we went over all the tools we can use and create. And in this one, we're going to be, before we head into modify and get into body shaping, we're going to be doing a little challenge. So first of all, I would suggest clearing the space if you have not, either making it invisible or deleting it altogether for this poor box that we bullied so hard the last time. We're going to just be deleting it. Goodbye, box. Goodbye. So, the sketches still remain there, but we can just turn those off. Oh. So we're going to be selecting this over here, and we're going to be doing a little challenge. So in the description of this video, I included a image that we're going to be using, and we're going to be turning this step by step into a keychain. So the way that we're going to turn this into a keychain is up to you, but I'm going to go through the steps of it and how to turn an image into an actual 3D object that can be 3D printed or sold online on websites where you can sell 3D models. So we're going to be going to this, right? We're going to be skipping over a few tabs going over here. We will get back to all of these eventually, but we're just going to be going over to insert. So there's a lot of different things you can go over and check out on insert drive, decal, or derive, attach canvas. So there's parts, there's SVGs, meshes, which is crazy. Meshes are great. You can do other models. SVGs are SVG files, which are detailed sketches, which are great. But for this, we're just going to be going to attach canvas. So when we click this, it's kind of similar to when we click create sketch. We get the overall, the planes that we select where we're going to put it, and stuff up here. So for this, we're just going to select this down plane. So make that face selected. We're going to be going over select image. It may not look like there's like a place to upload your image, but there is. It's this little thing right here. And we're going to be going to what I have saved, which is Nevada printable. So we're going to be clicking on that, double clicking on that, and it puts it out onto the playing field where we put it. We're going to be changing the opacity to 100% and moving it a little. A good time to introduce this tool right here. You can use, instead of viewing exactly straight tools or exactly up and down, it's more of a free motion movement tool. We're going to just be moving it over here, and we're going to be rotating it face upwards. Then everything should be good. We're going to click OK. Now we have it right here, the Nevada map, which we're going to be using for our challenge. So it can be pretty much anything. This is a really detailed map of Nevada. We're going to be tracing this using the sketch tool and other similar tools, and turning this into a keychain just by tracing it around and attaching a hole at one point. So going to go through this. For me, I'm going to go forward. You can do this however you like, but for me, I'm going to go and use the line tool. I'm going to zoom into the edge right here. Let's select this canvas first. Move back over. I'm going to zoom in. Select this point right around here. And bring it up to the second point right here. It's not going to be a 100% exact, as down there may get a little bit like confusing with some of the parts connected to it. Oh, just a heads up, the movement tool, just by holding down middle mouse click, and it instantly goes to the pan tool, is the most useful thing you can use in Fusion, and I highly recommend you doing so, just for easy movement around instead of going back to pan, going out, going back. So instead of going like this and then trying to select yourself out of it, it's a lot easier just to mouse 3, middle click, and just going down to it. I'm going to complete this, bring this down to here. I'm going to get this the best way that I can. I'm just going to be going through these lines. Of course, there are better tools to suit options like this. Of course, this isn't going to be 100% accurate. So yeah, just quick amounts of movements with this straight line really helps for it. Really helps just like shaping things out. There's a lot of different tools to make this more exact, but this one's just going to be a quick freehand one. Gonna go through here. Fairly straightforward. Down here, down here. Bring that over here, over here. And just connecting these. Yep. So while I'm creating this, I'm going to talk about what's coming up. We're going to be going through modify and getting all those tools worked out, creating another box and working those tools on there. And we're going to be using layer dynamics, or making pretty cool looking lasers on this layers on this keychain using that tool. So yeah, bring that down there. As you can tell in the background, the grid doesn't allow you to like place it like exactly where you want. Like I want to place this here. It doesn't let me. It kind of skips over. You can turn off the grid in the background, but it's pretty handy. I would suggest leaving it on, even if it does mess up some designs. Alright, so we're just about finished. And there we go. A full, rather rough sketch of Nevada. So it's gone all the way around, everything from that. There's a lot of messes. There's a big mess over here if you zoom out. It has the holographic part. Not that much in the corner. This just selects the center, how the line is set up. So there's a lot of that over here, since there's a lot of centers and line alignments. But we should be good. We're going to stop the sketch. And we're going to be going into canvases, which shows up after you place a canvas. This right here, the Nevada map, and we're going to be making that invisible along with all the other canvases. And there we go. We have our Nevada sketch. Just taken out like that. Pretty quick, pretty simple. Going to be rotating around it. Yeah. The entire thing just from sketch, really quick, not really that exact, but yeah, fairly easy to make. So we're going to be going over to extrude pretty easily. And for this, we're going to be using a different tool, or I am at least. You can follow along if you like. We're going to be going to directions, and we're going to be doing two sides. So we're going to be making the bottom 1 millimeter, and the top going up, we're going to make that go into here, and making that a 0.5 millimeter going up. And okay. And there they are, combined together in a pretty thick keychain design. The mess right here is a bunch of different faces. That happens a lot if you're going to do, so these are mostly flat, but these are a lot of separate clicks, so it's the spacing between each of the lines that creates its own face. This can be avoided with tools like the conic curve spine, but just for something rough like this, that shouldn't matter as much. So let's move this right here, bring that on top, and we're going to be putting a hole in it. Just for this, we're going to be going down to the very, very useful hole tool, or selecting H, which is probably the better option. And there we go. We have our hole to use this. Let's bring it down to size. Perfect size for a keychain. And I'm going to be selecting probably this up here. There we go. Rotating around, see where we have it. So all the way through. Sounds good. And the type of hole. Let's do a smaller tapped hole. Do that. And let's keep it normally. Keep it like that. Keep it like that. And keep it at an angle going down. So everything should be good. Gonna click OK. And there we go. It has the little screw pieces inside. That should look very nicely, either 3D printed or sold as a model. And pretty quick. That was a fairly quick keychain design. Now you can add on pieces onto it. Or, like what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring back the canvas. And I'm going to be doing some of the other parts. Or if you would like, you can follow along. But I'm going to be doing some of the other parts. Just like some of the other segments or counties, and just tracing over them while removing just turning off the bodies, and then tracing over a couple of these, just like point out like well-known areas. For one, I'm going to be doing Nevada, so I'm going to be selecting this plane. Yeah, don't want to zoom in too much if you're looking for. Let's let this load. Let's see. Yeah, you can get lost, but of course we always have, yep, home. So we're going to be going down right here. And looks like Fusion's getting a little laggy. Yeah, Fusion being its old self as usual. I'm going to stop this sketch. Hopefully Fusion does not cause any more errors. There we go. Now we can continue on. Fusion does that occasionally. We're going to just be going up here. Doing a quick sketch of Nevada. So you'll see how we're going to turn this into something that's attached to the original keychain. It's going to be fairly interesting to see how this unfolds. Let's see. Oh, connect these two back together. There we go. Oh. Let's go back a couple. Mistakes happen. Going over here. Right here. And finishing off with... Oh, it looks like I went too far into it. Let's stop here. Aha, so I took a wrong turn. Just gonna be bringing that back. There we go. And yeah, there we go. All of Nevada traced, or at least, yep, that segment of Nevada traced. And now we're going to be getting rid of the canvas and bringing back our bodies. So now that we have this here, we're going to be taking this, stopping the sketch, turning this sideways, and we're going to be extruding this through the bottom of the keychain. So bringing back bodies. Bringing back bodies, we'll see now that it's coming through from the bottom, but we don't want it to be cutting. We want it to join up with it. So we're going to just give it that little amount of tension, or a little amount of piercing through it, so it looks like just slightly attached to it. Let's see, 50, 75. There we go. Done. And now we have the Nevada region outlined there. And we can put custom text on it, Nevada, or we can put like the entire thing. We can do a lot of things with this little keychain. I'm going to leave some freedom for that, but that's going to be the project for this segment. Just make a keychain out of Nevada or any state and complete it with a hole and a separate extruded piece from the design coming up from it. All right. So, moving on to the second part of this episode, which is going to be the rest of the modified tools. So, there's a lot of fun stuff in here. Really fun. Of course, there's fillet and shafter. Shafter. And we're going to be, we already went through those, but of course, press pull. Let me bring out a box for us to experiment on. There we go. Just another box to mess around with. So of course, press pull, or Q, allows us, kind of like the extrude tool, except it's not cutting, it's just pulling different faces instead of deleting them, because if it was with extrude, it would be showing us where we were cutting them, and not just moving the box itself. This is, or joining it up, because this would be instant with the press pull. Very big difference. So, and the hot bind for that, or the hotkey for that, is Q. And of course, fillet, which allows us to select faces. And a nice little trick I didn't show off when we used it previously is by holding shift and selecting a face. So it lets us select more than one to do things like this. So creating all the faces at once gives a nice little effect when created on boxes. And of course, fillet can get crazy if you press it down too much. Same thing with shafter, like I showed previously. But you can also select a bunch of faces for this. Now we have a pyramid. I'm not going to go through with that though. Of course, fillet, you can press F to instantly get access to it. So starting off, we're going to be using the shell tool. So you just need to select a face and then like just drag the how much you want the inside to be, well, hollow. It hollows out the inside. And of course, you can change the direction in which you're making the shell. So you can make the rest of the shell, the outside be bigger with the shell staying the same side. Or you can do both of them at the same time. You can like change how you want them. You can make that one bigger, make this one bigger. Do whatever you want with them. Mostly I would suggest doing something like inside if you are going to make a shell that like you want something hollow, so you can make this specifically hollow. And of course the face will get deleted along with hollow since it's kind of like making a hole in it, but that can be easily fixed with a simple set of extrusions. So, yeah. Hollow or shell, very easy. And draft. So this is kind of like the fillet tool, except you're selecting two faces and or you're selecting a plane and a face, so two objects. You'll be selecting this lower plane and the side. So just by doing that, we get an axis to rotate this on. So this is going, we're making like a triangle type shape since we selected that plane. So let's select this side and bring this one back up here. So yeah, now it selects it like this. And it'll go up, depending on which plane you selected. Gives a nice curve to objects like that, like this. This is a much more simpler design for a doorstop than I said that. You could easily 3D print that, and that can instantly turn into one. Or like bring it out, make something a little bit more larger. There's a lot of things you can do with drafts. Mostly useful getting acute angles without having to go into revolve. Yep. So. And of course, scale, pretty straightforward. Let's say I want this cube bigger. You can select the scale factor, non-uniform scale factor, so you can like scale in different sizes, or of course, uniform scale, where it scales it to one separate size. Now this scale factor isn't an exact, it's not an exact like measurement system. There's like a factor of how many times. So if it's 1 times, it's the normal size. 2 times, it's 2 times bigger. It can get kind of annoying to deal with when you really just want to resize it to an actual different size using measurements, but you'll learn to be used to having to deal with scale factors instead of having to put in measurements and the scale factor. You'll get pretty used to it. So, scale, yep, and combine. So this is a pretty straightforward as well, selecting two bodies. So for this, I'm going to add a sphere just right here. See where I put that? Yeah, pretty up. I'm going to move this. Move this right around. Right next to it. Okay. And we're going to be going into combine. So selecting the target body and the tool body, and we're going to be joining them together. So since they're not connected, it won't actually do that. But if we move this one in, select, okay. So these are still two separate, even though one is inside of the other. But by selecting, modify, combine, this one and this one, we can join them together as one. So now they will act as one body while movement. Yeah. Body 5, both of them. So you select body 5, you select both of them since they've been combined together. So if we unselect it, we have the two separate bodies. But if we combine, it's both of them are joined together. Pretty useful tool. So, replace face. So, you can replace different faces if you wish with different parts. Let's say there's a segment up here that's through another body. You can select it through that, and you can target like a sketch on it, and it'll put the face through that or up to that point, matching it exactly. So if up here there was like a wavy pattern, such as in the footage or in this, it'll match up the curve along with that, which is very useful for creating things like this, or creating things along with patterns like that, especially combined with the sweep tool and the pipe tool. So the split faces, most of these are just for messing with bodies or wanting to change them. We're going to be getting into those a little bit later. So these you don't have to worry about right now. And move and copy, pretty self-explanatory. Select an object and it instantly move and copy instead of right button clicking or clicking on the body over here. We already went through that. And physical material. So this one's a quick one. This is just for Fusion. This won't like come out 3D printed or whatever you set it up as like this. But oh, that's a line. Well, might as well if you can align objects selected to different bodies based on where they are. Accidentally, I would have gone into this one anyway, but I guess I accidentally selected it. So if I wanted to align this to that, align it on the same face, or align this to that, align it near the same face. Yep. So something like this. Yep. Align it like exactly on the same level. So they're on the same diagonal level with that. So yeah, that's how that works. Physical material. So physical material, you can select from different kind of material and drag them into the design and selecting something to give them that kind of design when they're on the field. If I just turn that into glass, oh, let me undo the glass, and give it something like mirror. So now this ball will function as, mirror does not seem to be working, so I'll go into red aluminum, since I know that this works. Yep, red aluminum, and oh, we're going to be deleting these materials, and yeah, so red aluminum will act as a shiny red aluminum color. You can even see the shine directed from the light. It's pretty interesting. This is only for the only for Fusion, so it's not going to come out like this, but it's pretty cool to give your designs different colors depending on what they are. So I can give this like a bronze color, and now it has that on the inside. And you can change it up. Lots of different things you can do with it. It has that shiny metallic color. Pretty cool. I'm going to be undoing these. Keep them the same gray metallic color that I like them as, or Fusion's default. So yeah, this episode's just about wrapped up. I discussed the rest of the modified tools, and we'll be going over those in due time. The other three fairly straightforward stuff. And of course, next time we're going to be going through assembling joints, creating joints, and how these are going to align together with each other in your design, using this cube and a circle as an example. My name is Roman, and this is Fusion 360 Basics, Part 5, signing off.